Thank you for your patience. Thank you for the continuity in this training series. Now, we've looked at what website is, we've looked at what makes up a website. Now, in this class today, we are going to be looking at types of website. Now, basically, there are two different kind of website. And the first one is static website, and the second one is dynamic website. Now, what you mean, like, what is static website? Now, static website are website that the content that are being displayed to you are not going to change anytime soon. The same content that is being displayed to you now, until it is manually changed, it will still be the same tomorrow. What you are seeing on that web page now will be what every other person trying to access that website also will be seeing, because that website is static. Let us use a snapped photo, for example. If you capture a photo with a camera and you print it out on a paper, or let the same way it is now, look at that same photo years later, it will still be the same person, the way it stood, that is how, because it is static. Also, we can use newspaper, for example. Once the newspaper is being printed out, the information you are seeing on that paper, because it is static, look at that information months or weeks or days later, it will still be the same thing, because those informations are static. Likewise, also, there are static websites that until you manually trigger the changes, the website will still be the same. But the thing is, nowadays, people are not so much building a static website, though there are still some static website out there, but it is not as much as the second type of website, which is the dynamic website. So dynamic website is different from static website. Now, what differentiates dynamic website from static website? Now, dynamic website contains information that changes depending on the viewer, the person visiting the website, depending on the person's location, the person's gender, the person's country or nation. We can use Facebook, we can use emails as example of a dynamic website. The information that is available to me on my Facebook news feed, I believe it will be different from the information you have on your Facebook news feed. Now, the reason is because the friends I have, all the friends I have on my list, are not all the friends you have in your own list. Now, even if we have the same friends, the Facebook algorithm has some mechanism that it looks at how am I engaging, the rate of our connection in between me and those friends I have with me. So those are what Facebook is going to use to fetch content, to fetch information to my news feed. So, and how is that possible? One of the things that differentiates a dynamic website from a static website is a dynamic website is powered with a database. Those informations you are seeing in the news feed are being stored in a database. They are being kept somewhere and being retrieved to the page whenever you need any of those information. So what differentiates a dynamic website from a static website is that database that powers it. And a dynamic website has what we call a server. Now the server is what communicates with the database. The database brings the server communicates with the database to get those informations from the database, and the server now feed your client, your browser, with the informations that it is for you and you alone. That is why, because the rate of connectivity between me and my friends may be different, or are different with the rate of the connectivities you have with your friend. So what the server is going to display to me will be different from what it displays to you. Same way also when the emails we receive, even though you subscribe to the same list as I do, there are some things that you will have in your own email that I will not have in my own email, because it is personal. Those emails are being stored in the database and are being displayed to you based on what you have access to, and I will be unable to see what you have access to because it is based on your own information. So for static website, everything that I can have access to is what you also will have access to, because there is nothing filtering out the information from knowing who to send it to or not to send it to, because it is just static, just a newspaper. If once you buy the newspaper, what you have access to on that paper, anyone who can access that paper will also have access to every of those informations, because it has been printed out, it is being displayed to you, it is static. It will only change if the publisher of that newspaper printed out another paper and add some extra information. So that is what differentiates a static website from a dynamic website. So thank you for going through this course. Thank you for your patience, and don't forget, your total attention and concentration is needed to get the best of all in this training series. Don't forget, we are going to be diving deep into practical section. What we are doing now is just to lay the ground to have a better understanding on what you are about to learn in this training. So in our next class now, we are going to be setting up our website. We are going to be hosting our website, getting to the free domain name that I talked about, and also getting the free domain name to use for our website. So we are stepping into the practical section. So your total concentration is required so as to get the best of all in this training series. So thank you for your time and stay blessed. See you other time.